everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Well, ZeroHedge.com has a great piece by John Whitehead of the Rutherford Institute. Great man, does some great work. Policing for profit, Jeff Sessions' thinly veiled plot to rob us blind. I highlighted this last week, but John gives an absolutely spot-on commentary on this very, very troubling and basically state-sanctioned robbery issue that we have going on here in the United States. He starts out with a quote by H.L. Mencken. Says, laws are no longer made by a rational process of public discussion. They are made by a process of blackmail and intimidation, and they're executed in the same manner. In this case here, folks, it's under the threat of a jackboot and at the barrel of a gun. As it always is, taxes. If you don't pay your taxes, they come at you with guns, right? If you break the law, you pull over, chances are, more often than not, that something's going to happen. That officer always has his hand on that sidearm, ready to get you. He says, let's not mince words. Jeff Sessions, the nation's top law enforcement official, would not recognize the Constitution if he ran smack dab into it. Whether the head of the Trump administration's Justice Department enjoys being the architect of a police state or is just painfully criminally clueless, Sessions has done a great job thus far of sidestepping the Constitution at every turn. Most recently, under the guise of fighting crime, Sessions gave police the green light to rob, pilfer, steal, thieve, swipe, purloin, filch, and liberate American taxpayers of even more of their hard-earned valuables, especially if it happens to be in a significant amount of cash, using any means, fair or foul. In this case, the foul method favored by Sessions and company is civil asset forfeiture, which allows police and prosecutors to seize your car or any other property, sell it, and use the proceeds to fund agency budgets, all without so much as charging you with a crime. That's right, folks. You don't have to be charged with a crime. That's the problem. Sanctioned highway robbery. Under a federal equitable sharing program, police turn asset forfeiture cases over to federal agents who process seizures and then return 80% of the proceeds to the police. In Michigan, the police actually get to keep all 100% of their forfeited property. This incentive-driven excuse for stealing from the citizens is more accurately referred to as policing for profit or theft by cop. Despite the fact that 80% of these asset forfeiture cases result in no charge against the property owner, challenging these takings in court can cost the owner more than the value of the confiscated property itself. And as a result, most property owners either give up the fight or just chalk the confiscation up to government corruption, leaving the police and other government officials to reap the benefits. And boy, do they ever. Police agencies have used their ill-gotten gains to buy guns, armored cars, surveillance gear. This according to the Washington Post. They've also spent money on luxury vehicles, travel, and a clown named Sparkles. Incredibly, these asset forfeiture scams have become so profitable for the government that according to the Washington Post, quote, in 2014, law enforcement took more stuff from people than burglars did. Let that just sit in for a second. Law enforcement took more stuff than burglars. According to USA Today, quote, anecdotal evidence suggests the allowing of departments to keep forfeited proceeds may tempt them to use them unwisely. For example, consider a 2015 scandal in Romulus, Michigan, where police officers used funds forfeited from illicit drugs and prostitution stings to pay for illicit drugs and prostitution. Memos to the rest of the fellow indentured servants who are living through this dark era of government corruption, incompetence, and general ineptitude. This is not how America is supposed to work. You see, we're now ruled by a government so consumed with squeezing every last penny out of the population that they're completely unconcerned if essential freedoms are trampled in the process. John says our freedoms aren't just being trampled, however. They're being eviscerated. At every turn, we the people are getting swindled, cheated, conned, robbed, raided, pickpocketed, mugged, deceived, defrauded, double-crossed, and fleeced by government and corporate shareholders of the American police state out of all they want to do, folks, is make profit. And at your expense. You know why? Because it's getting so hard now these days because people are cash-strapped. Remember, we haven't seen wages increase with the cost of inflation now for quite some time. So wages have been stagnant across the board. You have record unemployment still, even though you see the U3 numbers coming in extremely low. You still have a record number of Americans out of work, out of the workforce, something along the lines of 90 plus million. So you're talking a lot of American people that aren't working right now that could. They're not paying into the system. You have budgets that are continually getting higher and higher because you've got benefits, people getting pensions, and these pensions become more costly the more people you have put on these pension programs. You have a ton of unfunded liabilities, and you have municipalities, you have states that are getting ready to fold. So they're looking for any way possible to get any sort of funds that circumvent the legislative process, because the legislative process at this point to get more money is a big zero, a goose egg, a loss, and they know it. So if they can't get it the legal way, why, they're just going to steal it from you. And this is what civil asset forfeiture is all about. In order to maintain the police state and maintain that level of excess, why, they're going to stop at nothing to make sure they get the money that they need, even if it means stealing it on the side of the highway from you. And this is the world we live in. This is democracy, freedom and democracy, right? This is what they say we have in America. Yet look at what the reality is. It is far from freedom and democracy, folks. If anything, it is fascism. Straight up. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day.